Welkom bij de videoserie.
Welcome to the video series guiding visually impaired athletes. In this video, we'll discuss several tag games. We'll show you step by step how to create a better overview so the visually impaired players can participate more easily. The starting situation. Jaden's visually impaired and plays in a regular class. What he sees clearly at 30 centimeters, his classmates can see at 10 meters. His eyes also twitch, and he has trouble differentiating between colors. His class is aware of his visual impairment. The goal is to get Jaden to participate safely and as independently as possible. We start with the worst-case scenario. There are no free spaces, the taggers aren't clearly visible, and everyone runs around. We've agreed that if I yell, "Stop," everybody stops immediately. To make it easier for Jaden, we made the following changes. We use half of the hall with half of the students. We use free spaces, and the taggers wear coloured vests. We agree that only one person can stand on a free space at a time, so they have to get off if someone else gets on. If you're tagged, you get on the bench. And you can get back in when there's a certain number on the bench. We also agree that people remember how often they're tagged, so we don't have to switch vests every time. The next game is switch places. Everyone has their own free space. You have to swap with someone else without getting tagged. When you step off your mat, you can get tagged. Again, everyone remembers how often they're tagged, and after a few number of minutes, a new tagger is chosen. We choose a small amount of students, in this case 8. The mats are contrasting, and we show Jaden beforehand where the mats are. To help Jaden even more, I tell him when to run, so that he knows when he can switch mats. I can also help Jaden in other ways. I can be the first tagger, so I can guide the game. We also use tag tubes that are less threatening. And I can also give Jaden an extra mat, so he can switch quicker without getting tagged. Now we play beanbag heist. All students stand behind the yellow line. 4 students start from their mat at the same time. You can get tagged when you leave your mat, and you're supposed to get a beanbag from the wall without getting tagged. To help Jaden, we play the game as follows. We start without tagging, so Jaden can figure out the distance to the wall. Then we discuss which bags he can see best. You can also place them in a hoop or on a contrasting mat. Jaden starts from the outside, so he has more of a chance. If this doesn't work, you can also place an extra mat halfway, so he has an extra free space. I start as tagger, so I can guide the game. Then I choose 1 or 2 students to take over. Finally, we play a getting across game. Students have to take their bag to the other side without getting tagged. And if they succeed, they take the bag back and they go again. If you're tagged, you place your bag in the basket, so we can see how many people were tagged. The benefits of this game are that the direction is set, and you can see where the taggers are. We first play without a tagger, so he knows where he has to run, how far it is, and how to run back. This way, the chance of collisions is very small. Then we start the game, and I play the tagger, so I can give Jaden extra space, and that I can see if he needs another free space. When everything is clear, I step aside, and students take over as tagger. Of course, Jaden also wants a turn as tagger. With the tag tube, this becomes easier. You can also give him a longer tube, or narrow the field, so it's easier for him to tag the other kids. Without inconveniencing the others, we've made a few adjustments so that Jaden can participate in the game independently. Summary in terms of organisation. Choose Getting Across games, which create overview and reduce collisions. First, play without a tagger, so you know the game is understood. Use as much contrast as possible. For example, the vests, the beanbags, and the free spaces. Choose small fields with fewer players. This creates more overview. Use free spaces and safe zones you can't get tagged in. And finally, clear away all unnecessary equipment to prevent collisions. While coaching, guiding, and differentiating, think about: be the first tagger, so you can guide the game. Tell the runner when to start running. Check if you need to modify the rules. The same rules don't have to apply to everyone. The visually impaired runner can get an extra free space or an extra life. And finally, use tag tubes if they help. There are many forms and varieties of tag games. Choose a game that fits the capabilities of your visually impaired student. Discuss which adjustments are needed. Regularly ask the visually impaired student if the adjustments work. This concludes this video. In the next video, we'll see how we can modify gymnastics for the visually impaired. Thank you for watching.